Hello everyone, my name's Adini.
Greetings, my name is Ripika.
And we're back here with the new voice, the place to find increased inner peace. A lot of people do it through the Bible, and we're introducing a new way that we find inner peace through the Book of Mormon. And since we last saw you, we have read pages 41 to 55, so that's 3 days worth of reading, and we're going to be going through some key lessons we learned from those pages today. So for our first 5 pages, we're talking about a well-known story on the boat. But for our next 10 pages after that, a little bit of intimidation because we've got some Isaiah jumping in, and he's not exactly a pleasant writer for people of this age to read because it takes a lot more understanding than just reading off pages of a book. So for that, to combat and to help us, we have got this book here, Understanding the Words of Isaiah. You don't have to have this book to understand it. There are a lot of good sources on the internet, but just to understand them a little bit
We'll
more.
put the link of what that book is.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that book right now, do a commentary while you're reading 5 pages a day. But the next time you look at the words of Isaiah, it might be good to have a help along the way, a commentary, because Isaiah can feel like it's like, yikes, it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is not the last time we're going to be seeing Isaiah.
Yes.
Pops up a lot more. So we are on the boat. Nephi has just built the boat, commanded by the Lord. They have packed it up and they are ready to leave. And all is well for the first 5 verses. And then a little bit after that, we get some major abuse happen basically from Laman and Lemuel to the rest of the family, particularly to Nephi. Nephi is known as the hero, the innocent in the story. But we want to focus today on Laman and Lemuel and how the personality that they showed forth on that boat can be seen in each of us, and how we can kind of deal with that and kind of navigate that a little bit.
Yeah, so Laman and Lemuel end up tying up Nephi and Nephi's wife and children, and even Laman and Lemuel's wife and children, telling them, stop, what are you doing? Because a huge storm sets in, and Lehi and Sariah are so overcome by what their sons are doing that they become really, really sick. And so we've got the hero that's tied up on the deck of the ship that is getting the full force of the storm. We've got the innocent wives and children and the parents that are underneath in the deck and below the deck of the ship who are suffering because they're having to endure the storm. And just this time as we go through, I really feel like Nephi, like he's talking to me from the dust, is saying, hey, don't focus on me, the hero.
The one who didn't complain.
The one that had all the courage. Don't focus on me this time. And as much as we love and want to protect the innocent and the victims of the story, we'll talk about them and hear from them the next time. I feel him saying, let's talk about Laman and Lemuel. Let's talk about the ones that have caused the wounds, that have caused the hurt. Because, he says to me in my ear, because we all are or have been the cause of hurting others. We have all caused for someone to feel offended, and we have all caused for someone to get some sort of wound, emotional wound. And we want to help out that perpetrator inside of all of us right now and say, like, what is preventing you from moving forward and repairing the hurt that you've caused?
For me, the fear of failure or the fear of how other people treat me or look at me or perceive me once I tell or admit that I was wrong is something that prevents me from kind of like fixing my mistakes or apologizing when I need to, because I'm so I feel fear and I feel shame of, wow, what I just did, I feel so guilty, how are they going to view me? And if Laman and Lemuel, they had that attitude for about 4 days on that ship, and they obviously, I feel like from day one they knew that what they were doing was wrong, but they were like, okay, fear and shame, or okay, we're gonna make sure Nephi knows who's boss here. But by day 4 it had built up, everyone was still sick and Nephi was still wounded. If they had not repaired, or if they had not overcome that fear and shame, there would have been a good chance that the Book of Mormon and their story would have ended at sea, drowned in the ocean. But because they overcame that fear and shame and repaired what they had done, they were able to, reset. Leohona was able to lead them to the promised land. So,
shame and fear prevent repair.
yeah, trying to remember that. And,
So we really need it in those moments when our hearts and minds get hijacked by shame and fear. We need to reach for a higher power, which is Jesus Christ, which are the words in the Book of Mormon, the words in the Bible, to help us to feel safe, that we can move forward and repair the situations that we have caused hurt and
caused hurt and wounding.
Hurt and wounding.
Yeah. So that is our first 5 pages. Now for our second 2, we're going to go into Isaiah's words. Isaiah is a prophet, and one of the standout scriptures that we found is in 1 Nephi 22, 30-31. Wherefore, my brethren, I would that you should consider that the things which have been written upon the plates of brass are true, and they testify that a man must be obedient to the commandments of God. Wherefore, ye need not suppose that I, that's Nephi, and my father are the only ones that have testified and also taught them. So that's implying that there are other prophets that have also taught the words that Nephi and Lehi are speaking of. And the words that Isaiah write, a lot of them are commandments, weaved into a lot of great English and language features.
Symbolism and metaphors
and
yeah,
unfamiliar text. My NCAers, you know what that means.
So who are these other prophets that have testified about the commandments of God? We have one living today. We have a few living today.
Yeah.
The one that we want to focus on is a man named Russell M. Nelson.
Yes.
He is a living prophet on the earth today, and he has said a lot recently about contention.
I like this quote. It is. Contention is a choice. Peacemaking is a choice. You have your agency to choose contention or reconciliation. And thank the Lord that Laman and Lemuel chose reconciliation in the end.
Yeah. And I don't think the prophet's saying to Nephi and all the innocents on the boat, forget about what Laman and Lemuel did. And to all of us, just forget about all of the offense that has been.
Forget about your swollen wrists.
The prophet isn't saying that. He's asking us to recognize that we have a choice, that we have choice to either choose contention or being a peacemaker. And this is our prophet speaking. And Nephi's big clarion call on page 46, verse 24, it says, wherefore I speak unto them, saying, hear ye the words of the prophet. And then a bit down in the verse, again, hear ye the words of the prophet. And then a little bit more down, and liken them unto yourselves, that ye may have hope. And hope is like that positive mindset, and it really is similar to inner peace. Thank you.
Later.
See ya.